All right, I think we're ready to go. Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. It's called How to Hit Send Without Feeling Like You're Going to Throw Up, or How to Finally Conquer Email Marketing. Thank you so much. We're pleased to bring you this next installment of our webinar series hosted by Jotful community members. This is an opportunity for members of Jotful community to share their experience and expertise with all of you. So we're really thrilled with it. For those of you who aren't familiar with Jotful community, it's comprised of photographers, content marketers, writers, and so forth. All of these people who share their experience with small business owners. We at Jotful often refer our customers to the experts in Jotful community, and they often refer small businesses in need of a website to Jotful. It's really a community of professionals who collaborate on online marketing services for small business owners. So today we've invited some of our customers, a bunch of our friends, and the entire Jotful community to join us for the webinar. So welcome to all of you. Before I introduce our guest, I'd like to take care of a couple of housekeeping topics. First of all, today's webinar is being recorded. We'll be able to share the link with you after the event is complete, and we welcome you to revisit the content and share it with others afterwards. Secondly, we also invite your questions and comments. You'll notice on the side there is a chat bar. You can use this to enter questions at any point. We do only have a half hour here today, so I can't promise we'll get to all of them, but if there are any that we don't get to, we'll follow up with you afterwards. And now, without further ado, today's guest is Emily McGuire.
Hi. Okay.
Emily is the owner and chief email marketer at Flourish and Grit, which is an email marketing and automation studio. And I will let her tell you a little bit more about herself. Thanks, Emily.
Oh, that's my favorite topic. Can't wait to chat about it. All right, so we're going to talk about, like Don said, hit send without feeling like you're going to throw up. It is a problem. I have been there. And so that's why you are seeing this webinar today. So fun. There we go. Yes, we have our slides. Hooray. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover today. I want you to walk away from this webinar feeling more confident about sending emails. I want you to stop guessing if people are actually into your emails. And then I want you to send emails with the confidence that you're not annoying your subscribers. These are the top things, the top anxieties I hear from people who are doing the sending of all of the email things. So by the end of this, you won't have those anxieties anymore. It'll be great. So those are our key takeaways. And then spoiler alert, don't forget to stick around to the end because I've got some special bonuses for you. It's very exciting. So I want you to take advantage of them. So make sure to stick around till all the way at the end. So first of all, we got to talk about my favorite topic in the whole wide world, which is me. I know it's your favorite topic too, or it will be soon. So I own, as Don said, I own Flourish and Grit, an email marketing and automation studio. I'm located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I help businesses uncover hidden revenue in their email lists, which is my favorite thing to do a little bit of digging and dig up all that money. So how do I do it? What makes me qualified to talk about this stuff? I have some credentials. I went to school for a long time. I got a master's degree, and then I got a digital marketing certificate, which is fun to talk about. But what's most fun to talk about is the actual results I've gotten with some of my clients. So I work mainly in the tech and e-commerce retail world, but I've worked with all kinds of businesses, coaches, consultants, small Etsy stores up to really big e-commerce retail companies. You name it, I've worked with them. I have sent thousands of emails, and in 2018, I worked with a client that from email marketing campaigns alone brought in $20 million. So that's just revenue from email campaigns. So I've seen the power of email, and I got hooked. So that's why I stuck with it, and that's why I'm here. Also, I'm pretty cool, not to brag, but I love to read. I love trashy TV, and I can't live without coffee because hashtag mom life. If anybody here has little kids or are parents at all, I feel for you. I've got a toddler. It's been an adventure, to say the least. So, enough about me. We're going to talk a little bit about why email. I mean, you already know why email. You're here, right? You signed up because you know that there's something to this email thing. But I'm going to throw some stats at you that might surprise you about the potential of email and the impact of it. So, uh, first of all, people in the United States check their email on average 15 times a day. If that's on average. So that's a lot of opportunity to get your brand, your messaging, your offers in front of some eyeballs. But it also, if you're like me, you got your email up all day and another tab, which is another issue entirely. But again, huge opportunity there to get your brand in front of your buyers. People are 2 times more likely to sign up for email than they are to engage with your brand on Facebook. We also know that the algorithms of social networks change all the time, and the audience that you've built on social networks, you don't own. Uh, if they decide to diminish organic reach on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever, you don't have a lot of control of that. When you get an email list, you own those addresses. You own the ability to get in contact with your audience. So it's very powerful. Also, on average, email marketing has a 3,800% return. That's huge. So for every dollar you invest in email, on average, people see a $38 in return. And part of that, I think, is because people are opting in to get that messaging from you. And people check their emails 15 times a day, right? That's a lot of opportunity there. So now that you know why email is so powerful and brilliant, uh, then let's talk about how to actually feel more confident sending emails, which is what I want to talk to you about today. So first of all, I want to talk about a tool, which is something that I came up with while working in-house for some brands, which is a launch checklist, right? As many of you know, if you have ever been the one to build it all and then click that schedule or send button, it's terrifying, right? Because there's a million little pieces that go into an email campaign. And depending on your business, there might be a million and one pieces. You have the copy, the design, the content itself, the offers, the whatever you're clicking through to. There's so many pieces. If you're doing this all on your own, it is overwhelming. So I developed a launch checklist that I print out and put next to my laptop to dot my I's and cross my T's every time I send out an email. So what's on a launch checklist? All of these things, right? So as you know, like checking for typos, grammar, spelling, is your content right? Dates, times, location, pricing, if you have an event or an appointment of some kind. Are your links working? What happens a lot I see with links in email is you're copying and pasting those links from one place to another. They can break at some point during that copy and pasting. So double checking to make sure that they're still working before you test that email is crucial. Subject line and pre-header, I see this mistake often. I've made it myself. You're so busy trying to get the content in the email just right, you totally forget about the subject line. So make sure you send yourself a test before you launch your email campaign, before you schedule it, just so you can see what people see in the inbox and make sure your subject line looks right. How does your email look on mobile? We know that over half of web traffic are on mobile devices, and depending on your brand, that might be a lot more. So making sure that your content is legible on mobile is crucial. And most email service providers will have an option to check and preview your email on mobile. But better yet, send yourself a test, look at it actually on your phone to see what it looks like. Do you have the right list or segment? There are so many boxes to check in your email service provider. Make sure you check the right one. I've done that before. Sent to the wrong list. Yikes. Sender name, something that is so often overlooked in email. Make sure your sender name is recognizable and the right one. So you might have a few people that you have your emails coming out from. Make sure you've got the right one. Make sure people know who it is. Your reply to address, same thing. If you want your emails when somebody responds to your email campaign, if you want it to go to a group inbox or your customer service department or your assistant, make sure you have the right one. Is your offer working? Don't forget about that one. If you have a special offer on your website and people click through to claim it, make sure it works before you send it out, because then you're going to be doing a lot of cleanup. And then your send day and time, make sure you're sending it at the right time and place. So these are the essentials here. It's obviously there's a lot more to it depending on your business and your goals for your emails. But this is a great starting point. And hint, hint, stick around to the end because you might get access to something like this. It'll help you. Interesting. The other thing I like to tell people is general life advice. Like I'm sure you did not know that you were going to be getting life advice today, but surprise, I'm giving you life advice. So that is something I talk to anytime I talk to a new client, do a workshop, whatever. It is something is better than nothing. So when you are panicking that you might have the wrong thing in your email, getting that email out is top priority, right? We all make mistakes. We are human beings. I have been the person who is the only person strategizing, doing the copywriting design, and then scheduling and sending out emails, and have sent emails with mistakes in them. I've also worked on teams of over 5 people who check the email before it goes out, and they still go out with mistakes. So I'm just here to tell you perfectionism isn't going to get you anywhere. It's definitely crucial in some industries like heart surgery, but in sending emails, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm just going to tell you. Like I said, I've done it all. I've made all the mistakes, and the world's not going to end if you make one mistake. So moving on. Oh, yes, there we go. Goal number 2, we're going to talk about stop guessing if people are into your emails. How do you do that? How do you know if people really are into what you're sending out? Are they into you as much as you're into them? We don't know until we do a few things. The first one is having goals. I can't tell you how many people I talk to in marketing who don't have specific goals around whatever marketing they're doing. But that applies to email as well, right? What do you want to get out of your email marketing campaigns? Obviously, the ultimate goal is money, right? Most of you are in businesses trying to make some money, earn a living. But we also know that it takes a lot of touch points for people to purchase from us, depending on our services. So, but once you know the goals for your overall email marketing program and then your individual campaigns that help you reach those goals, you'll be able to start seeing and looking for the top things that will signal whether or not you are getting towards those goals. The first one, so for example, say your emails, the goals for your emails are just audience engagement. You just want to be top of mind, serve value in the inbox, and make sure people want to stay connected with you. So yeah, open rates are going to be a great metric to measure that, right? Are people interested in opening your emails? The mistake I see a lot of people make is that's what they hyper focus on. They hyper focus on those open rates and they don't look at anything else. And often that will pigeonhole a certain type of process you hone in on your emails. So for example, people put a lot of stress on subject lines, which for sure matter, but you also want to make sure that when people opening your email, you're giving them what they want as well, right? So if you are also, another goal might be you're nurturing people down the path to purchasing something from your website or booking an appointment, buying a ticket, registering for an event, whatever it is, then maybe you're wanting to get them to your website so that they can see more information about that piece of content or offer. So your click-through rate is going to be another metric to look at that's really important. Did you achieve the goal of getting people to look at your content or your offer, your service, your product, whatever it is? And then obviously orders, bookings, if that is the ultimate goal for your email campaigns, then you want to look at your conversion rate. And your conversion, again, depends on your business, right? You could be ordering an online product of some kind, purchasing a course, registering an event, whatever it is. And that conversion rate, most email service providers have that number if you have it set up correctly. And if not, then maybe it's worth looking at a new email service provider tool, right? A lot of these email service providers will provide these metrics for you in the reporting. If they don't, then you're going to want to look at a new email service provider because those numbers are going to help you fine tune your campaigns and figure out, am I achieving my goals with email, right? So those numbers are crucial too. The other thing I like to suggest to people, and something I implement myself, is a micro survey. So if you want to know if a specific piece of content you're sending out in an email is people like or they don't like, you can simply put in an emoji right below that piece of content, and I'll show you in a minute what that might look like. But have a smiley face emoji and a frowny face emoji and ask people, did you like this content? And link to those emojis that you can then go back and look how many people clicked on those emojis. Did a lot of people click on the smiley face? Did they click on the frowny face? And that's a really great way to just gauge interest. And I'll show you how to do that here. So for example, oh, weird. One of my emails ended up in here. Huh, so embarrassing. Well, okay, we'll just go with it. I am a shameless self-promoter. Get used to it. So here's one of my emails. I'm going to show you an example of this so you can see what this looks like. I put out some content about how to personalize your email content without being creepy, which is important, right? You don't want to turn people off. So that's the header of the email. And then if you scroll down, oh, I lost my animation. Anyway, if you scroll down, I'm gesturing with my cursor. Hopefully you can see it. Below that big piece of content, I have, how happy were you with this content? And I literally went and found an emoji keyboard online, copied the smiley face, copied the frowny face, and then I created a landing page that just confirms that they clicked on the link. I'll show it to you. So it just, when they click on the link, either one, the content is the same. It just says, thank you, you're the best. If you're looking for more help right this minute, check out my library of resources for all your burning questions. Very generic copy, just confirming their action. And I created 2 versions of this, same content on both landing pages, just 2 different links. So when I go back to my report, so I use ActiveCampaign. I recommend it to everybody. And I sent this little test email out to myself so I can show you the data. And it's looking a little blurry here, but that's fine. I can go into ActiveCampaign, look at what links people clicked on in the email. And these 2 that are not blurred are those 2 landing pages. And I can see that 1 unique click on one emoji and 1 unique click on the other. So it's just a very low tech way to gauge, to take a little survey in your emails. So that's just another suggestion. Oh, look, I zoomed in. How smart of me. So yeah, here's a zoomed in version of that, of those links from the emojis that you can see what people clicked on, and was it a smiley, was it a frowny? And you can gauge very quickly. So the other thing I tell people to look at are your unsubscribes. Now, unsubscribes are natural, right? You want people to unsubscribe from your emails if they're not interested in them anymore. Because what else will they do if they don't have the option to unsubscribe? They're going to mark you as spam, right? If people don't want your emails, they're going to take whatever action they need to take to not get them anymore. So, like I said, unsubscribes are normal. They are natural part of marketing, but I will say they often get looked at in the wrong light. So people tend to look at unsubscribes, sometimes take them a little personally, but they also don't look at unsubscribes when they're testing content. So what I recommend doing for most people is look at the last 3 months of sending history, see how many unsubscribes you're getting over the course of those last 3 months. That'll give you a good baseline, and then you'll be able to see if your unsubscribes bounce up, if they skyrocket. If for some reason you start seeing more unsubscribes than usual, you know something's a little off about your email. Something's going wrong. Somebody didn't like something about your content or something else. So pay attention to those. Again, they happen, they're natural, but just watch to see if they bounce up at all and then start digging in there. That's how you know people really don't like your content, right? So the other goal we're going to talk about is sending emails without annoying your subscribers. This is another big anxiety thing I hear from people. It's real. People can often abuse email addresses and sending campaigns. And so you don't want to upset your subscribers. You want to delight them. So make sure you're always delighting them. So here's how to not annoy them. So the question I get from a lot of people is, how many is too many emails? Well, the answer is an annoying one. It depends, right? It depends on your audience and your business. But for the most part, when people are asking me that question, chances are it's almost impossible that they would send too many emails. It takes a lot of resources to send out an email campaign. And if you're sending one every day and you are also doing 5 million other things, I'm really impressed that you can get an email out every day. But most of the time, people don't have all the resources they need to send an email a day. That and for some businesses is not too much. But again, if you start looking at your unsubscribe rates, you might see that, yeah, it's too much. But what I really recommend people to do is send weekly, at least once a week. It gets your audience used to seeing you in the inbox. They come to expect it and are excited about it, especially if you're delivering high value content. So make sure you're sending weekly, because as we all know as well, the digital marketing world, people have very short attention spans. If you're only sending your audience one email a month, those 30 days are going to roll by and they're going to get that other email from you, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that brand, right? So sending weekly is going to, again, keep you top of mind with your audience. And again, if you think you're sending too many emails, watch your unsubscribes. If they start spiking, you know you are sending too much. And an unsubscribe rate should be below 1%. If it's above 1%, then something is not going as it should be with your emails, and you're going to want to dig into that, because that can hurt your sender reputation, among other things. So remember to watch those unsubscribes. So those are our 3 goals. We got through them. So what did we learn today? You're a human being, and no matter what you do, it's okay to make mistakes. But that's why we come up with checklists to cross I's and dot T's, so you take every precaution you can. Also, make sure you have goals for your email campaigns. They make everything better and will help you really hone in on what you're trying to do with your emails and keep an eye on whether or not people are into them and if you're delivering relevant content that they love. Also, another way to gauge that is little tiny surveys, micro surveys. Don't forget to watch your unsubscribes because things will be really, things are going not as you planned if your unsubscribes start to spike. And then also stay warm with your audience by sending emails weekly. So also, don't forget that something is better than nothing. You are a human being. Just getting something out there is achievement enough sometimes. We can always build on what we've been doing and do better next time. So don't forget that. Now, whoa, I've got something to promote. Weird, huh? So I'm launching a new masterclass that it's a mini course that will help you create emails that convert in an afternoon. So the content itself will take you maybe an hour to get through and then a couple more hours to implement, but it's 5 modules on how to design better emails, copywriting hack that works almost every time, how to send better emails more strategically, and an intro to email magic. I call that automation, but I like magic. It's more fun. So right now it's on my website. It's on sale for the next 3 days. It's, like I said, a little micro course. It's only $13.50 right now. So hop on it. The price will go up. It'll double on Sunday. And then the other thing is, I also have a little freebie for you. That checklist I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, you can download that on my website. I've got a nice PDF version that you can print off and hang on next to your workspace. If you go to flourishgrit.com/launch, you'll find the freebie right there. So that is all the goodies I have to offer to you. Hopefully you're feeling more confident and like you don't want to throw up as much. I mean, that would be a good result, right? So yeah, thanks so much for listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. I think we have maybe one question we can address now, and then we can take the others offline. But there was a question about permission-based marketing. And if you get someone's business card at a networking event, can you email them? Can you buy lists? Can you just talk briefly about permission-based marketing?
Yes, so that is a whole other world. There are laws and regulations around sending emails to people who didn't opt in to your email list. But if you think of it from a user's perspective, right? If you get a business card from somebody that you met at an event and you add them to your list, suddenly they get an email from you that's promotional. It's got some content in it that doesn't maybe directly apply to them. Maybe it does. I mean, that would be a bit of a jarring experience for that person, right? It would be like launching them into the middle of a conversation that they didn't know they were having, right? So that might annoy some people if you think of it from that perspective. The other perspective is in the United States, we have the CAN-SPAM Act that regulates email. And right now, what we need, how to stay compliant with that is having an unsubscribe link in every promotional email you send out. There's also the GDPR, which happened in Europe. How does that affect us in the US? That regulation stipulates that people have to give you explicit permission to send them any marketing messaging through email. It also talks about data privacy, but we don't need to worry about that right now. So what does that have to do with us here? In the United States, California passed a law that mirrors the GDPR pretty closely. It's not the exact same thing, but it does have the information about opting in to marketing messaging. And there are 3 other, can't remember if it's 3. I think there are 3 or 7 other states. God, I can't. But there are other states in the country who are working on similar regulations. So to stay compliant and keep yourself out of legal hot water, it doesn't hurt to send somebody an email that you picked up their business card at an event and ask them, do you want to join my email list? So make sure you get consent, make sure you get permission. It's also just being a good person and having good relationships, right? It's having a conversation. So don't forget about the user experience in that case.
Emily can take those offline with the people who wrote them later. I just want to take a moment and thank all of you for attending today's webinar, but especially Emily McGuire for hosting today's webinar. I'm going to throw her Jotful community link into the chat room right now. So if any of you want to contact Emily, you could just check out her Jotful community profile, go to her website, find her there. If anyone wants to contact me or contact Jotful, just feel free anytime to send an email to hello@jotful.com. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much.